Hello and welcome back to another episode of Tiger Eye. We've got a great episode for you this week. First off, we're talking with some of the swimmers as their season begins. Over the weekend, the theater put on a play, so we sent Addie out to find out more about what went on behind the scenes. And finally, Casey learned more about giving back for Christmas through Operation Christmas Child. But before we can get to that, let's start this episode off with sports. The winter sports season is well underway. One sport that might be overlooked is swim. Not only do the swimmers have to go to the Y for practice, but they also have to take time out for the meets. For Catherine and E011, they've always been called to swim more than other activities.
She tried a multitude of activities. She did dance, she did horseback riding, she did tumbling, she did gymnastics. But that seemed to stick with her the most. We had her in the pool when she was 18 months old and in a Red Cross program. And until they were 3 years old, you know, I was the one that took her to swim most of the time, so I had to be in the pool with her. And she just got comfortable with it.
I guess I never really cared for many other sports. I hated soccer and stuff, and I'm very uncoordinated. So ball sports did not work for me. Basketball, tennis, you know, all of those sports. So I guess I kind of just started swimming and I kind of just fell in love with it. I've just been doing it since then.
Trimming time means constantly pushing to improve in any area. Buzz Buzzkirk tells us about how E011, his daughter, is even willing to take risks to get the perfect start.
She's usually trying to knock time off of her particular event. There are times when she might get disqualified. Like one of the meets we had in Asheville this year, she got DQ'd because her foot moved when she was on the block.
I'm trying to cut some time off in some of my free events. I haven't really been able to do that as often now, but I'm really hoping to get faster this year.
Getting faster means tons of hard work.
When I finish swimming, like a hard swim day, my shoulders they're very painful at the end.
I swim for 2 hours every day, so I get really tired sometimes. It's really easy to burn out, but it's just having that motivation to keep going.
No one knows more about the dedication it takes to be a swimmer than Sarah Schrantz, Ford's swim coach.
I mean, truly swimming is one of the hardest sports because there are 4 strokes that go along with it. And then you have to do it mostly while you're holding your breath and that kind of stuff. There's not just a freedom to breathe whenever you want to. I have many kids who have played other sports and will tell me this is a lot tougher than any sport and a lot more involved than I thought it was going to be.
Dedication is not only limited to the swimmers, but also to the parents. Buzz Buzzkirk explains how a club swim meet might look.
Dedicating the time for the meets, because it may be as far away as Greensboro, it may be in South Carolina, maybe in Asheville, and you got to set up your hotels, you got to commit the time to drive there and stay from Friday through Sunday, and then if you're required to time the meet, you know, you're not necessarily in your child's lane timing them specifically, so you may not even get to really see a whole lot of their event.
A huge part of every meet is the atmosphere that comes with it, whether good or bad.
It can get pretty intense. I mean, it's a loud audience inside the event. It's crowded. It can get extremely hot in there because, you know, you don't want swimmers to be cold. So you've got the water temp that might be 84, 86 degrees. You've got the air that's circulating that's going to get hot. All those people in there, so it gets kind of uncomfortable, the atmosphere in a swim meet as far as the warmth of the space.
There's a lot of cheering, a lot of people going, go, go. I would also describe it really uplifting in some way, like hearing all those people supporting their teammates and that kind of thing. And sometimes a little chaotic. It's kind of because you're going from one event to the next and there's a lot of things happening, but I think it's really like a lot of fun.
When in the water, being athletic is only half the battle for Jackie and Catherine.
It's also kind of mentally challenging because when you sprint, you know, you have a fun, just like forget about the pain, just gotta swim as fast as you can.
If you have a good mental mentality, you usually do pretty well. But when you beat yourself up mentally, it's really hard because I know I have the physically, I'm capable of it. Physically, I can do it. Mentally, I have a hard time with it. And then that usually makes the progress a lot slower, or not the outcome that I want it to happen.
There's definitely a lot that goes into swimming. Theater has also been doing a lot to prepare for their new production, A Christmas Carol.
This past weekend, the theater students performed a Christmas Carol production, and everyone has a role to play that's special and unique to them.
I'm playing Scrooge, which is the lead role, and I originally wasn't going to go for Scrooge. I wanted to be one of the spirits, but I thought it would be interesting and a little bit of a challenge because I was never like a lead role before.
Oh, it's mysterious. The part in itself is very interesting too. I get to be the one that points. I also play like the everyman, so I'm like in the whole show, but as like the third spirit as well. So it's like it adds another layer of woo-ha.
I auditioned for a few different parts, but I love Spirit 1. I got like the sassier type spirit, so that's fun, I guess. I love the way that it moves. I love its costume. I love its mannerisms. Just the character's just a good character. It's just like a show that like people can sit down and everything is happening in real time, and it's just a really good experience.
Everyone has a different reason for being in theater, and each performance is different. So why did these students decide to be a part of A Christmas Carol?
I love theater and I like love acting, and so whenever I got the opportunity to audition for it, I was very excited.
I love Fred Ford Theater, and I just really wanted to have any role in the play, and I love the story of Christmas Carol, and the role I got, the spirit of Christmas Present, was really exciting, and I just really loved the role and the play.
Live theater has so many meanings behind it. So Abigail Mayberry and Catherine Ramo tells us what it means to them.
Live theater is amazing, and it can really like just help people connect with people, and the fact that it's live, you get to see these people in person who have worked so hard on creating such an amazing show, and you can just tell the hard work and dedication, and when you're up on that stage, there's no better high than that.
With like TV, everything is always perfected, and so you don't see that they are actual normal people. And so I think that's probably one of the reasons why we see celebrities as such like not like normal people, you know. But whenever it's live theater, if somebody does mess up or their voice cracks or something happens, you still see it, and they're still putting on a great performance, but they're also just real people doing this great thing that they have been given the privilege to do.
Being on stage can cause a lot of nerves. So how do they deal with this before performing?
Personally, I do a lot of yoga before shows. I love yoga, I love stretching, and I'll do just like quick workouts right before the show, and then like at the show, just work on some breathing exercises and meditation.
I try to stay as like normal as I can, so I just try to like talk and joke with people and pretend like I'm not about to do like a big show, because it kind of helps me regulate and like come back down to earth.
Not only actors have important roles, there's tons of work done behind the scenes.
So behind the scenes work, a lot of people have to build sets. They have to, so like for stage management, you have to have a notebook and you have to make sure you know all the props, who has the props, what are the props, where are they at, like stuff like that. So stage management is a big part of behind the scenes. Then you also build the you build like the things. So
having all the attention and spotlight on you isn't for everyone.
There's so much like behind the scenes things that we have to get done. So I think people just don't like to be on stage, and they like to do the work and be a part of the art, but not on the stage.
Thanks, Addie. Keeping the Christmas spirit alive in this episode, since it is our last one before break. One of the big things going on currently is Operation Christmas Child.
The countdown to Christmas has already started, and it is the time of giving back to those who are less fortunate than you are. International Club and Beta Club went to Charlotte's Operation Christmas Child Processing Center, a foundation that packs shoeboxes filled with toys for kids to get for Christmas. Nicola Warwa explains why one should volunteer.
I signed up to pack the boxes because I think it's very important to volunteer and help people, because there's a lot of kids that don't celebrate Christmas as, for example, I do. Like, it's a very big thing for me, and like as I said, I get a lot of presents and I celebrate with my family. So I think it's very important to help even a little bit. I think it's important to even like be a part of this process and to help them even with like this help and volunteering.
To fill boxes, there is an order to follow to make the process easier and faster. There were 172,000 boxes filled in one day. Kimberly Garcia explains the steps to complete packages.
First off, the boxes had to be opened by the investigators, and you had to rummage through the stuff to figure out if it was appropriate. And then it moved on to the tapers who would tape up the boxes, and then it would move on to the people who were putting them in their final boxes, which were coordinated by their age and their gender. So it was a whole bunch of people working together.
In filling the boxes, some people try to make the items more sentimental and personal to the child. Ms. Rembert saw the work that a person did to give a child.
There were so many hand crocheted little baby doll, either like the dress, or sometimes they had like a little pillow that the baby doll laid in, and all of these hand crocheted and the hand sewn stuff was the best. I mean, you could tell people put a lot of time and effort into that.
When Kimberly Garcia went to the field trip, she was able to understand the impact Operation Christmas Child had on others.
During the volunteering, they showed the videos of the children that they're trying to help out, and it really helped me realize the impact of all the kids that are going to be benefiting from the boxes that we were packing.
Many children are impacted by this operation, and Ms. Rembert explains what the foundation is.
Operation Christmas Child is a wonderful opportunity for people to give back. We often don't understand how little other countries and how little they have. We take what we have for granted a lot. What we can do with Operation Christmas Child is just huge for them to give back just even, the tiniest little bit.
Operation Christmas Child is just one organization. There are many ways to give back during the holiday season. You know, Heather, it's inspiring the impact that giving can have.
Definitely is, Casey. It's sad this is the last time we'll see you before next semester, but I'm super excited, as I'm sure you are, for break. So thanks for tuning in with us this semester, and we'll see you the next.